Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And this time, we are tackling something that I think has a lot of hockey fans scratching their heads.
Yeah.
The curious case of Linus Ullmark,
Yeah, for sure.
a Vezina Trophy winner not that long ago, right? Traded away from the Boston Bruins just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he signs this huge deal with the Ottawa Senators,
Mm-hmm.
a team that's on the rise for sure. But here's the really weird thing, the thing that I just can't wrap my head around.
Okay.
It's the same exact contract value as the goalie who replaced him back in Boston.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
It's wild, right? It's a really interesting story because it kind of shows how complicated things can be. You've got like the player's performance, obviously, the team strategy, and then the salary cap always looming over everything.
Always.
So like on the surface, you see a Vezina winner getting traded and it's like, whoa, hold on. What? But, we need to dig a little deeper to really get what happened.
Okay, all right. So let's try to unpack all of this. Ullmark wins the Vezina with the Bruins. Everyone's celebrating, feels like a dynasty, and then, bam, he's traded to Ottawa. Where do we even start with this?
Well, I think a good place to start is that goalies, they're kind of their own thing. Like their career paths, they can be a little less predictable than other positions on the ice.
Right.
It's not like you just win a Vezina and you're guaranteed to be amazing the next season, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Some goalies, they peak early. Some hit their stride later in their careers. It can be tough to figure out, and teams are always trying to figure out who's going to give them the best performance over a long period, not just a single season.
In this case, the Bruins already had Jeremy Swayman,
Yeah.
who's a really promising young goalie, just kind of waiting for his shot. So was this like a youth over experience thing? Were they betting on Swayman's potential?
I mean, it's definitely more than just that.
Okay.
It's like a whole bunch of factors all at once. Age, potential, how much money they're going to want, even just personalities and team dynamics, all that stuff matters.
Right, because goalies are part of the team too.
Exactly, yeah. And like any athlete, they've got their personalities, and sometimes those just fit better with some teams than others.
For sure. Okay, so there's this one detail about Ullmark's contract that I keep thinking about. It's like he had this clause that would have given him more control over where he could be traded, and it would kick in like days after he was sent to Ottawa.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, that is juicy. That's a huge part of this whole situation. Those kinds of clauses, they usually come later in a contract, and it kind of shifts the power a little bit.
How so?
Well, think about it like a job, right? After you've been there for a while, you might get the right to say no if they want to relocate you.
Oh, right.
So kind of thing for players. Gives them some say in their careers.
So do you think the Bruins traded Ullmark before this clause kicked in?
Yeah.
So that they had all the control?
Oh, 100%. It's very possible, yeah.
Makes sense.
They could get the most in return doing it that way and didn't have to worry about maybe Ullmark saying no to some teams later on.
Smart. Okay, so now we've got Ullmark in Ottawa. Right. What made them the right team? What did he see in the Senators?
Well, this is where the whole idea of fit comes in. For Ullmark, maybe it wasn't about being on a team that was going to win the cup right now.
Right.
Maybe he wanted to be somewhere he was really valued,
Yeah.
where he could grow, where the lifestyle fit, all that.
It seems like we actually have some clues about what he was looking for.
Yeah.
He's talked about how much he likes all the nature around Ottawa and that it's less crazy than a big city like Boston, and how the Senators just, I don't know, have this feeling that they're going places,
Totally. And it really shows you that athletes are people too. It's not just about stats and contracts. Ullmark's comments tell us he was looking for something that fit with his personal vision of success and happiness.
For sure. He wanted the whole package, not just chasing a Stanley Cup. And it seems like he found it in Ottawa because they offer him this crazy good contract. 4 years, $8.25 million each year.
Wow.
That puts him up there with like the highest paid goalies in the league.
Oh, yeah. He's right up there with the best. Guys like Carey Price, Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky, Hellebuyck. That's the top tier of goalie salaries, no question.
Yeah, those are some big names.
Big names, big money.
It shows how much the Senators believe in him, that's for sure. But, okay, ready for the thing that just, blew my mind.
Always.
That $8.25 million?
Yeah.
It's the exact same as what Jeremy Swayman is making in Boston.
No way.
What are the odds?
Oh, that is wild. It's like a 1 in a million chance. It's such a weird coincidence.
It really is. It's too perfect.
It's too perfect, yeah. And you know what? This is actually a great chance to talk about cap hit.
Okay.
So every team in the NHL has this salary cap, right? A limit on how much they can spend on players.
Right.
The cap hit is basically how much of that cap space a player's contract uses up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So even though Ullmark and Swayman's contracts might be structured differently, the total impact on their team's salary cap is the same.
Huh. That's crazy.
Right. It really shows you how teams need to be really careful with how they manage their money if they want to build a good team. You can't just sign everyone to huge deals.
Yeah, like a big puzzle.
It is, totally. But what makes this whole thing even more interesting is what Ullmark has said about negotiating the contract and his relationship with his agent.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty open about it.
Yeah, he was.
And I love how he makes it clear that it wasn't just about the money for him.
Right.
It was about finding that perfect fit for him and his family. It goes back to what we were saying before about the big picture, you know?
Totally. It's refreshing to hear that kind of honesty because we see these crazy contract numbers all the time. But Ullmark's words remind us that it's real people making these decisions, with families and lives beyond just playing hockey.
I really like that he came out and said that. It's just really cool. And another thing that struck me about Ullmark is his attitude. He was traded away, but he still talks about the Bruins with so much respect.
Yeah, he does.
He gets the business side of it, and he said that the Bruins were always upfront with him.
It really shows his character. He could have been bitter, right? It was so easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But he took the high road. It tells you a lot about him.
It really does. It's like a reminder that you can go through tough stuff without burning bridges.
Yeah.
Stay professional, stay respectful.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we can all learn from.
All right. Well, I think that covers a lot of the background on Ullmark's move to Ottawa.
Yeah, I think so.
But we still need to talk about the pressure he's facing now, being the new face of the franchise and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other story.
And what about his potential to lead the Senators to greatness? Do they have a real shot at the Stanley Cup? And could Ottawa be where he finishes his career?
Lots to unpack there. We'll dive into all of that in the next part of our deep dive. So make sure you stick around for that.
Can't wait.
Okay, so we've talked about how Ullmark's move to Ottawa wasn't just about the money.
Right.
It was about finding the right place for him.
Mm-hmm.
But gotta be honest, there's a lot of pressure on him now.
Oh, yeah.
Huge contract,
Yeah.
new face of the franchise. The fans in Ottawa are expecting big things.
For sure. The expectations are through the roof.
Exactly.
But, you know, the thing about these top-level athletes,
Yeah.
they often do their best work when the pressure's on.
Really?
They can turn those expectations into motivation. Step up their game when it matters most.
So it's more than just raw talent.
Way more.
It's about mental strength, too.
Oh, absolutely. Being able to perform when everyone's watching.
Right, when the spotlight's on you.
And from everything we've seen and heard, Ullmark seems to have that.
Yeah.
He's talked about wanting to be a leader for the Senators,
I remember him.
embracing the challenge, proving himself.
And let's not forget, the Senators, they're not just any team. They've got a lot of young talent
So much potential.
from exciting players.
Mm-hmm.
If Ullmark can be that solid guy in the net, they could be a real contender.
100%. They've been building towards this, and Ullmark could be that missing piece.
Really?
They needed a goalie who could make those game-saving stops,
Yeah.
but also someone to inspire the guys in front of him.
I see what you mean. It's not just about Ullmark living up to the contract.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about him helping the whole team succeed.
Exactly.
That's a lot to ask of one guy.
It is, but the best players, especially goalies, they kind of take on that responsibility.
They do.
They know that how they play affects everyone else.
Right, right.
I think Ullmark is ready for that. Don't forget, he signed with Ottawa before he even played a game for them.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Shows a lot of faith in the organization.
It's like they both took a chance on each other.
Absolutely. They both saw something special.
And that can be really powerful.
Oh, yeah.
That shared belief.
That belief can take a team really far.
I'm starting to think maybe the Senators really are a good fit for him.
I think so, too.
He's 30 now, right? And this contract takes him to 34.
Prime goal years.
Do you think he could finish his career in Ottawa?
You know, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
If things go well, if they find success, why would he leave? He seems happy there.
Can you imagine Ullmark leading the Senators to their first Stanley Cup,
Oh, that would be something else.
becoming a legend in Ottawa?
It'd be an amazing story.
Even if that doesn't happen, his career has been pretty incredible so far.
It really has.
Lots of ups and downs,
Mhm.
things we can all learn from. Okay, so let's talk about what this all means for the people listening.
Okay.
What are the big takeaways from Ullmark's story?
That's a good question. I think the first thing is finding the right fit, whether it's your job or something bigger.
Okay.
It's not always about the most money or the biggest name.
Right.
It's about matching up what you want with where you are.
Like Ullmark choosing Ottawa over Boston.
Exactly. It was about more than winning.
Finding a place where he could be himself.
I think that's really important. And the second thing is communication being open even when things are tough.
Yeah.
Ullmark stayed positive with the Bruins even after the trade.
Yeah.
It shows a lot about him.
He could have been angry, but he wasn't.
He understood the situation.
And he was professional about it.
Really. That's something we can all learn from.
Yeah, it's like a good reminder that you don't have to burn bridges when things don't go your way.
Exactly.
There's a way to be professional, you know?
Yeah, handle things with grace.
Totally.
Yeah.
Ullmark's story also shows how resilient he is, how adaptable.
For sure.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
He wins the Vezina Trophy,
Yeah.
the highest honor for a goalie,
Yep.
and then, bam, he's traded away from a team that could have won the Stanley Cup.
It's wild.
But he doesn't let that get him down.
Nope.
New team, fantastic contract, and he seems happy.
He really does.
It's like he took that change and turned it into something positive.
He did. It's awesome.
It's like a reminder that sometimes those unexpected turns in life,
Yeah.
they can actually lead to something better.
100%.
You just got to be open to it
Be open to change, adapt.
and believe that things will work out.
I love that.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Linus Ullmark's journey.
From Boston to Ottawa.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating look at pro sports.
It really has.
The business side of it, finding the right fit, mental toughness.
And the human side of it all?
We see all these big contracts and stats.
Yeah.
But it's easy to forget that these are real people.
With real lives.
And that's what makes it so interesting, right?
Absolutely. It's the stories, the journeys,
The ups and
the
downs.
triumphs, the setbacks.
It makes you connect with these athletes.
Yeah, on a different level.
And that's what makes sports so great, I
Me
think.
too.
It's like a reflection of life just on a bigger stage.
With all the drama and excitement.
But at the end of the day, it's about the human element.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, as you go about your day today, think about Linus Ullmark's story.
Yeah, what parts of it stood out to you?
What lessons can you maybe apply to your own life?
Good question.
And here's one last thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Ullmark's 30 now, right? This
Oh.
contract takes him to 34.
Yeah.
Could Ottawa be where he plays out the rest of his career?
It's a good one.
It's hard to say for sure. Players move around a lot.
They do.
But something tells me he might have found a real home with the Senators.
He does seem to fit in there.
Not just as a player, but as a person.
Yeah, a part of the community.
Only time will tell, I guess.
And we'll tell.
But that's the beauty of sports, isn't it?
What is?
That mix of the unknown and the hope for what might be.
It keeps us coming back for more.
It does. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
It's been fun.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of the world around us.
See you then.